Hello and welcome, genties and ladlemen, guys and girls. It is in fact your boy, Sir Edward, and we are back with another episode of Cracking the Shell. Wow, he made another one. May God help us all. Anyway, today on this episode we have got the string slinger from Unhallowed Void and Sacris, David Easton. How you doing, man?
Yeah, good man yourself.
Yeah, good. So the point of this podcast is really just to kind of get to know a wee bit more about a lot of the bands that are playing in Glasgow and the wider Scottish metal scene,
Yeah,
and just learn a wee bit more about them, have a wee chat, and then Christ knows where human conversation will go. I mean, if the DMs ever get leaked from our conversation, you will see NordVPN, furries, Mussolini, Corpse Grinder, and
oh yeah,
Raid Shadow Legends.
all of the shit there.
It's the best kind of shit. It's the
Oh
best
yeah,
kind of shit.
oh yeah.
Anyway, before we get into what you're doing now, I'd like to rewind the clock a wee bit and learn a wee bit about your upbringing, finding music, finding metal, because everybody's got their own like
Yeah,
different
yeah.
journey with finding this absolute mad nonsense. And just find out a wee bit more about that, learning to play guitar, your first bands, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I mean I've kind of always been interested in music like from a really young age. It was all the like 70s and 80s bands that really did it for me.
Hmm.
Like White Snake, AC/DC, Deep Purple, all that
Oh,
sort
I
of.
do love a bit of Whitesnake. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
lie. I love that cheese. It's so good.
But I never realized how cheesy it was when I was a kid. Like, because obviously all the lyrics just go over your head, and
Oh
then
yeah, and then it's like you realize no, he just wants fucked. That's it.
like
He's
even
just
even the
horny.
band name, even the band name, it's like
Oh,
mad.
I know. It's like it's before the whole baddiecore thing. They were doing
Uh,
baddiecore like 40 years before Sleep Token were doing it.
So it kind of all started with that, and I was like, just always obsessed with that stuff, and just wanted to play guitar. I always wanted to be Angus Young when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So like my first guitar, like I saved up. I mean, I had like sort of learner guitars and stuff that I started to play around with and stuff, and I saved up like all my money for like years and got an SG Junior, and then I just played like AC/DC songs for like oh probably till I was like 12. I first picked up guitar at 7, so quite a while.
Yeah.
I've always taken lessons from the same guy, and he's like he's a more classical based musician. So in later years, I've gone back and learned a lot of classical. But yeah, he was always really helpful. He always like let me lead with what I wanted to learn, which meant I always had
Yeah.
a pretty healthy relationship with it. It never felt like a chore.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
so yeah, it's like it's been a pretty long term thing. Started when I was 7, so still going.
Well, I'd say you're pretty good, but what do I know? No, it's really cool, and it's really cool how your teacher let you lead with what you want to learn. Because a
Yeah, I
lot of them,
think
it's like, no, you need to learn acoustic and you need to learn the chords, and it's like
yeah,
I
I
don't
think
want
that's
to do that. I
important.
want to play Slayer. Play Slayer doesn't
Yeah,
sound good in a
exactly.
nylon string acoustic.
Yeah, because it's like I spent so many years just having fun with it, and I
Mm,
feel like so many people will get forced into lessons or like through school or pushy parents or
yeah,
whatever. Whereas if you have a more natural, yeah,
yeah,
way of getting
yeah,
into it, it's a
exactly,
lot more
exactly.
enjoyable, and it kind of lets you like in recent years I've like gone back and learned all the theory stuff that I probably should have like 10 years
Yeah,
ago, but but now I have the kind of skills to back it up, so I can.
yeah. You can
It's a
better
lot easier to
translate
learn it
what it
now.
is you want to do instead of
Yeah,
just right, put the finger here and then put the finger here,
yeah.
and yeah.
I'm like very. If someone tells me to do something, I won't do it. So it's like,
They're the people that do the best, though. The people are like, no, I don't want to do that. I want
so
to
I
do
kind of
this.
need
They're the
to.
best people.
Yeah,
For sure, for sure. So you're growing up learning guitar, starting off playing AC/DC. Where does
yeah.
it translate into like deathcore and tech death? Where does that line
Oh,
come
so
across?
I was like, I was never really into heavy stuff. Like I'd always like listen to rock, and I was like really into bands like Iron Maiden, like all the heavy
Yeah,
metal
yeah.
stuff. Rush was another huge one, like all
Mm.
the progressive wankery stuff.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then one of my mates at school when I was in high school was like he found like a bunch of Cannibal Corpse stuff, and we thought it was like the funniest thing because it was just this
Oh
like
yeah, it's just stupid noise, isn't
yeah,
it?
like the
Just like
first time you hear it, you're like, what the fuck is it? And all the song
yeah,
names and the album art is just like so extreme and weird. So we thought it was like hilarious and all the song names and stuff. So
yeah.
like I remember I learned Hammer Smash Face as a joke when I was like 15 or something. And then like it kind of just snowballed.
Yeah.
And then like lockdown hit, which was pretty handy because I was like, still in school at the time, so there was no school, so it meant I just had like all the time in the world to play guitar. So that's kind of when I got into all the technical death metal stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it was bands like Revocation that really got me into that. So
I love Revocation. They're really good.
it's one of the best live bands I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
so
I
good.
saw them. I want to say it was 2019 at the Barrowlands with Killswitch Engage of all
Mhm.
bands.
I missed that one because I
Oh, it was brilliant.
that was like the year I got into them, so I didn't know about them
Yeah,
playing or anything.
yeah.
But I caught them in Dublin. Was it last year? My girlfriend flew over because it was like Valentine's Day and Revocation were playing, so we're like, "Fuck it, we'll just." And it was like
That's the best day, isn't it?
it was perfect. It was great, and it was like, I mean, the lineup was insane, and every band absolutely killed it. Like Dave Davidson, like doesn't miss a note. It's
No, he
mental.
doesn't. Did you hear that Pull the Plug cover that they did?
I think so. Was it part of the
It was like some EP. They did a like they reissued
Yeah,
some
they've done a
EP
lot
and
of like covers. They've done like some Metallica ones as well.
yeah, I know they did. I want to say it was Dyer's Eve, which you don't really hear
Yeah,
people
yeah.
talk about that song, which is off my fave album. But yeah,
I think
no, they're really good.
that's one of the most popular songs on Spotify. I think just the cover of
That's
that.
nuts. I find that hilarious. I love when an artist covers a song and that becomes like their whole thing.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like just before we got in here, I was listening to if you remember that kind of maniac, like that like that 80s song. I was listening to like a cover of it by a Finnish Melodeath band called Omnium Gatherum, and it's like, why does this work? Why do
that's
I understand the lyrics better than the original?
like see, Depeche Mode.
Yeah,
Uh, the Faceless did a cover of "Shake the Disease" on their last album, and it's like brilliant. It's like you
I
wouldn't think
don't
like,
think I've heard it, but I'm going to go and listen to it after this because that just sounds
oh,
incredible. Those
it's
two worlds
insane.
colliding,
Yeah, it's just
absolutely mental.
you wouldn't think like synth pop would work as a
Yeah,
technical death metal song, but it's like really hooky and it works and
yeah,
it's like really sick. I never realized it was a Depeche Mode song at first, so like
yeah.
I like liked it as a death metal song before I figured out it was a cover.
And
So
now you'll never listen to the original because
yeah,
it's just like, oh, this is
exactly,
shit now. I would
exactly.
highly recommend that. The band is called Omnium Gatherum.
I'll
It's
write
like a
that down. I'll take a minute.
yeah, and it's
It's a good
just
name.
called it's Maniac. It's if you've ever heard Insomnium, their guitarist is also in that.
Uh,
Again, another great example of Melodeath. That's kind of where I got my start. It started off with deathcore, and then I kind of went backwards into like slam, Melodeath, old
yeah,
school death metal, and that's where that's kind of how I found the more extreme stuff. Again, I started off with, I'll freely admit, it was like Linkin Park and Disturbed back in high school.
yeah. I mean,
That
everyone's like, oh, my
it's that
stuff was
song
all
off the
new
second
metal.
Transformers film. I vaguely remember that. And just that was incredible. And then I was watching YouTube and somebody had Inside the Fire by Disturbed in the background, and I'm going, what the
Yeah,
hell is this? Why do I like it? It's like
yeah. I was
what
always
is
huge
this
on new
weird
metal.
noise thing? Why do I like it? You know?
Yeah. Well, it's just like it's just angsty, like especially when you're
Yeah.
younger and stuff. It's just
Oh
brilliant.
God, yeah, and everyone you're like, nobody understands me. My mom
Yeah, yeah,
hates
yeah.
me. Nah.
Exactly.
It's
I
the
used to sit there
perfect
reading all
music
the
for that.
Kerrang magazines and stuff just for that.
Oh God, Kerrang! I
Yeah,
remember during lockdown, I put on the Kerrang like channel on TV, and oh my God, it's went downhill so
yeah.
hard.
I've heard it
Oh,
on
it's
the
so
radio at
bad.
work a few times, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like,
It's
it's
just pop punk now, and nothing
yeah,
against pop punk. It's just that's not what Kerrang's for.
yeah. It was always meant to be the kind of more extreme stuff. Well, not really, but a bit
Yeah,
of it,
you. I heard Trivium in there at one point, which Trivium, brilliant. Love Trivium. Um,
Yeah,
Heard a whole lot of cool stuff from there.
yeah.
So we were talking about like obviously learning guitar. You had your like first starter guitars, which are probably really shit, like Strat rip-offs and stuff like
I
that.
still got one kicking about. I turned it into a fretless.
That's sick.
I just
Do you
stripped
remember
everything off.
your first one was?
Like first ever guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a wee quarter scale like nylon string. So
yeah.
I remember I asked Santa for a wireless electric guitar when I was like 6 or 7 or something, which obviously like bit of budget. So
just
I
a
had
tiny
this.
bit. I mean the market crash, you know. Just a
Yeah,
bit out of budget for Santa.
yeah. So yeah, so I had this wee like blue nylon string, and I just kind of used to learn all the tunes like Frere Jacques and that, and
Yeah.
uh Can and all that stuff. So that was like I still have it, and I still like sometimes play it, but it's like I've never changed the strings on it. So it
It
must be
might
like
it
what
might be
12
just string
years.
change.
Yeah, 12. I've never snapped one though. So
Well, that's impressive. To be fair, at least you're not a bass player.
yeah, yeah.
That'll probably come next. So,
Oh
what
yeah.
would you say is your dream guitar? Like the thing that you, if money
Oh.
was unlimited, if you could go to any company, any brand, what would be like your unicorn, like heaven
Well,
guitar?
I obviously see all of these like custom made things by luthiers and the
Yeah.
the the LA custom shop Ibanez's and the Kiesels and stuff. But if I had to boil it down to like two, it would either be an RGD7, like the ones that like Necrophagus and Obscura and all that used to use,
Yeah.
or like a Kiesel. Like I've always wanted a Kiesel, but the import prices are like ridiculous because
Oh, I
you
dread to
charge like
think what they would be.
VAT and everything importing it. So by the time you've like bought a guitar worth like 2 grand or something, you'll end up
Oh
having
yeah,
to
you
pay
paid like
like a
five or
hundred
some shit.
quid,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is
Fuck
just
that.
nah. Maybe one day.
Who knows? Who knows? I'll if this ever like grows up and like becomes this huge, like the next Joe Rogan minus all the stupid conspiracy theories, I'll be like, hey Jeff, go and sort my man David out with
I
his.
get Kiesel to sponsor the podcast. Tell
This podcast is sponsored by Kiesel and Ridge
you.
Wallet.
Raid Shadow
Imagine.
Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends, imagine. It's like we were talking
Yeah.
about in the DMs. Imagine fucking like Spotify like tanks so badly that you're getting paid nothing. So next thing you know, you
It
just see
already is
Cannibal
like that.
Corpse on stage, and next thing you know, it's like, all right, guys, I need to take a moment to talk to you about Raid Shadow Legends.
He'd probably enjoy that. Seems like the type
I
of guy.
would I feel like he would make ads and like sponsorships hilarious.
Yeah.
To be fair,
And then
that man could sell me anything and I would buy it.
yeah, because it's those videos of him like with all the toys and that on YouTube.
I
And
love that. It's so wholesome, and
yeah,
he donates them to charity while he's on tour, and it's like, how can you not love this man? He's just a big teddy bear. I love him.
yeah, I wrote an essay in high school about like sort of metal community and how it can be perceived differently by
Mm.
folk in the public, and how it's not all like these people who are out to kill each other and all this shit. Because
Yeah,
I feel like
having
a
to
lot,
explain like
yeah,
yeah, they look violent, but mosh pits are fine. Don't worry.
yeah. So it was like this essay with like contrast and stuff, and like one of the main parts I wrote about was just corpse grinder in Walmart. It
Yeah,
was like it's like so fun.
I
You
have to
know?
wonder what mark you got for that essay if you remember.
Oh, I can't remember. I never
Oh,
did very well in English. I'm not an English person.
don't worry. I didn't do well in school, pretty much in
Oh.
anything, and that
It's
was
just
pre-pandemic, so I had no excuse. I was just an idiot.
it's just not for some people, It's like
Yeah.
I feel like when you're in school, everyone makes it seem like it's the be all and end all, but it really isn't.
It's like how am I supposed to know what I want to do for the next 50 years when I'm 18 years old?
Yeah,
How?
exactly. That's kind
Especially
of like
when yeah.
I know. I'll let you speak.
Oh no, sorry. Especially when like stuff can just happen like that. I mean, look,
Yeah,
we went
yeah.
through a global pandemic, which
Hmm.
is like a once in 100 year thing because the last one was in like 1918, the Spanish flu.
Yeah,
It's
something
like
like that.
yeah, it's kind of mental. So how did they expect us to learn all this stuff and figure out what we want to do by 18 when we have got the next like 60 odd years of life ahead of us.
Yeah, that's kind of like why I like decided to try and pursue music because I was like when lockdown hit, I was a bit kind of stuck on what I want to do, and then I was
Yeah.
like, fucking hell, like stuff can change overnight. Like
It did.
I could go to the shops yesterday, and now I can't like step outside my house.
Yeah.
Uh, so like I was just kind of like, you know what, I'll make it work. So
Well, to be fair, I mean, deathcore is probably the wrong genre to do it in. You should be doing Ed Sheeran covers, but
nah, extreme metal's on the rise.
well, to be fair, it has been in Scotland, and I've been living for
Yeah,
it. All these
yeah,
incredible local supports, it's been mental.
yeah. The
You
scene still
guys,
keeps
Penny
blowing up.
Coffin, Rancid Cadaver, the list goes on. Absolutely
Mhm.
mental.
The Scottish scene's like crazy as of like since lockdown. Because
Yeah,
you know, there's always stuff around, but like, see, since lockdown, I think everyone's just come out with the attitude of like, you've
let's
gone
just do
copy the shit.
music. Yeah, let's just do it. I know a
Yeah.
lot of them formed during lockdown. Like Brain Bath was formed in 2020, Rancid Cadaver 2021. I mean,
Gee,
Coffin March were about around for a wee bit before that, but they
I
didn't put
didn't
out their
realize some of those
first.
bands were so new.
Yeah, I mean, Jaundice formed like last year. They're
Yeah, I still need, I'm looking forward to seeing them live at the, oh, is it Iniquitous and Ageless Summoning gig?
oh yeah,
Penny
Penny
Coffin as
Coffin are on
well.
that as well.
Yeah, that's good because I've heard like a lot about the Jonas guys.
They are really good. Their first
Yeah,
show was in Ivory Blacks in front of like nearly 300 people.
fair play.
I'd be shitting myself. I'd be
Yeah,
shitting myself. I'm shitting myself doing this. How am I supposed to do it in front of three people or 300 people?
yeah, I always
Imagine.
shit myself doing things if I like hate it.
And yet here you're trying to be a performing musician.
Yeah,
The
I've never been
irony.
good at like, just performing is like, I feel like it's the like it's like the equivalent of exams for musicians. Like, because
Yeah.
you can put in so much work, and then if you're feeling if something goes wrong that day or you're feeling a bit off, like
Oh
it could just
God,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and you
No,
fuck up, and
absolutely.
it's like, and then everyone else is like, oh
Yeah,
shit.
everyone's watching you, and especially some people that haven't heard of you before.
Yeah,
It's like you're trying so hard to impress people, which, to be
yeah.
fair, Unhallowed Void has impressed me every time, but I
Appreciate
completely
that.
get it. I completely get it. I mean, I was like that the first, like doing the first episode last week of this podcast. I'm sitting in like the Zoom call, waiting for Luke to come in, and I'm like, oh fuck, what if I forget everything? What if the mic doesn't work? What if I just sound like just I can't say words?
That's what podcasts are about, though. It's just about like shooting the shit, you know.
That's the kind of
But
vibe of this podcast. I know you see
yeah,
some that's just feels so robotic and like
yeah,
boring and
It's just like question after question. It's like okay,
yeah. Whereas I like it when it like I like for every guest that I've had, and like there's some people I want to have, I have like a wee notepad of stuff that I want to bring up. Like in year
yeah,
one, it's like it's the upbringing. I always want to start with that, just
yeah.
because a lot of people don't know that, and like oh that kind of thing. And then also another one I've got is like who would you say your first influences are for when you just started learning like metal?
Metal. Slipknot were like always huge for me. They were like my favorite band ever. So
Yeah,
I used to just sit and like learn all the Slipknot CDs by ear and stuff. Uh, yeah, I'm like still like pretty massive on Slipknot. I don't listen to them a lot, but yeah. So they and you know they've got like in the songs that do have leads, there's some really solid ones as well. Like
yeah.
Psychosocial, the solo to that's bonkers. So
That song as
yeah,
a whole is just one of those. Pardon me. If we could take a bunch of metal songs and like stick them in a time capsule and bury them for like 1,000 years,
oh yeah,
I'd want Psychosocial to be one of them. Just one of those
yeah. It's just
anthems.
iconic, you know.
Just even that like drum intro, dun, 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 just gets me going monkey mode every time.
Such
It's
a
like
good riff as well. Like,
it's so good.
yeah,
I love those like big stupid monkey grooves. It's why I like bands like Peeling Flesh and Sanguisuga Bog.
yeah,
Just the complete opposite of like Obscura and Archspire and Tech Death. It's just like, nope, me go monkey.
yeah. That's the thing is I'm into like so much like kind of like weird technical and progressive stuff, but like it's just something so good about just straight 4/4 like
Straight 4/4
slams and
fight
beat
riffs
downs
and
and
blast
yeah.
beats and just like that scene in what was it? Wolf of Wall Street where Leonardo DiCaprio's going around his office just like this.
Yeah,
That's how like
that's
deathcore breakdowns make me feel, and that's why
yeah,
I still love deathcore to this day, even with all the drama. It's now
yeah,
everything's called it's a deathcore moment.
yeah. Deathcore's still that shit. I
It's
was never like that big on deathcore. That's the thing is like you know obviously Unhallowed's like a deathcore band, but I've
yeah,
never actually been like that big on deathcore. I've always been like more death metal and
yeah,
progressive metal. But I guess it's just the way it works. And I mean, it's like so much of the stuff in Unhallowed is like, you know, it takes a hell of a lot of influence from like classical music and technical death metal and stuff, especially the new stuff. It's like pretty, pretty technical. It's like regretting writing half of that shit. So
Yeah, because then you need to play it live.
yeah, that's
It just means you need to write a shitload of songs, have half of them be 4/4 go monkey mode, and then the other half are super techy proggy stuff that you never play.
yeah. So any of the new gigs in the future playing the new stuff, I'll definitely turn the guitars down a wee bit.
Yeah, it's fine. Or better yet, just get an actual live drummer and then have them be at the front of the stage and then you
Yeah,
stand at the back.
they could steal the show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
that's the Unhallowed special, just laptop at the back, doing
Hey,
absolutely
listen, to be
everything.
fair, drummers are horrible. I'm joking. Look,
It's
if
just
Luke ends up seeing this, I'm sorry, but come on, it's funny. I love you, but it's fun to make fun of drummers
yeah, of course.
and bass players.
Well, that's the thing is like it's so like few and far between. Like you get drummers here and there, but like folk who can like consistently blast at like 270 and shit, it's like pretty rare because it's
Yeah, it
just
is.
like why would you want to do that? Like you're just sitting going like that for like half an hour, you know?
Yeah, which I can definitely see if you're not feeling the material, it definitely shows when you're playing it live. And that's what I always look for whenever I'm going to a live show is I want to see them having fun up
Yeah,
there and like doing things instead of just somebody going diddle, 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 right, okay, bye. It's like why would I, because I'm not from Glasgow, I live in Falkirk. Why would I
all
pay
right.
all
I'm in
that?
Liverpool, so
Well, there you go.
pretty close. Yeah,
Why would I pay all that money to go through to Glasgow and then gig tickets
yeah,
and then like
yeah,
merch and
yeah.
shit to stand there in like audio or whatever and then see somebody just going like
Yeah.
do something, do a
Yeah,
dance,
that's what I find about like I find this divide between like my sort of two favorite parts of metal. Like I love like technical and progressive stuff, but I find like live it's not as like
It's not
exciting to
much to
watch.
watch. It's
Yeah,
fun
it's
to
like
listen to, but you're not
yeah.
really watching a lot.
Whereas like I find if I'm listening to like slam on and beat down and stuff like through
Oh God, yeah,
Spotify or
there's always
whatever,
movement with that.
it's like I can't like I don't really like listening to it, but like I love it live because it's like the
Yeah.
atmosphere is just insane and like folk go hard as fuck.
Oh God, yeah. I was
There's
at
like
the Rotten Sound and Escuela Grind gig last night,
oh
and
yeah, nice.
oh my God. I think
Pretty
it was
good.
the loudest gig I've been to, and that's in like
Cool.
7 years of going to shows. Even
Yeah,
just hearing Rotten Sound soundcheck with this giant like Mesa stack and then the HM2, and I'm just going, just
nice.
oh my God, it was so loud. I'm fairly sure my earplugs just went, nah, mate, you're on your own.
Yeah, I always use ear protection nowadays. It's
I
like
learned that the hard way. I remember at some point I woke up after a show and you just heard that faint ringing, that little bit of tinnitus. It's like that's how it starts. So if anybody's watching this, and if you are, why? Go and watch something educational. Your IQ will drop if you watch this. But if there's one thing I can tell you is that if you're going to shows, wear ear protection. I can't
yeah.
stress it enough because once you get in your 30s and 40s, your hearing's just gone.
Well,
Bye.
like I I'm not even like 20 and I have tinnitus, which is like not good. Because
Yeah.
just from like going to gigs when I was younger, like and was a kid and not using ear protection,
It's
which is
because you don't know any better. You're going to a show and you're not prepared for how loud it is,
yeah,
especially in like these big venues like Barrowlands or the Academy or the Hydro, where it's just huge PA systems and massive speakers.
yeah.
It
It's
is
like
mental.
especially metal, especially all these bands with sub drops and shit nowadays as well.
I do love me a good sub drop. Just that boom,
Oh, there's so many ridiculous
booga
bands,
booga.
like see Extermination Dismemberments ones and like
Oh,
Phenochloro Scene. Their ones are like
oh, I love those bands. I would love to see Extermination Dismemberment live.
yeah, yeah.
And
I've always
just imagine like audio and you've got Extermination Dismemberment in there and you hear the fucking bass drop to Proto Nemesis in that venue and it's so tiny and you just
I definitely blow
I'd
your
lose
earbuds
it.
out.
I think I'd need like 3 earplugs in each ear
I,
for that.
no, I've always wanted to see them. They're like another like massive influence for Unhallowed as well,
You
especially
can
on Luke
definitely hear it.
part, just like
Yeah.
sub drops and slams and shit.
Nothing better than that pure IQ lowering nonsense.
Oh yeah,
Especially after like a hard day at work, especially if you're like me and you work in an area where You have to deal with people, and people suck, and you want to punch them, but you
Or we don't
can't.
have to listen to Capital FM all day.
God,
Yeah.
on it. Honestly, where I work, it's this. I don't even know where they get the playlist from or whatever, but it is awful. Oh my God, it's a lot of this like really sleepy, like sad pop songs. Like, come on, it's a Friday morning. Get the hype bangers on.
Yeah, exactly.
Get some like
Get the
German
slams in.
hardstyle or German techno. Because for whatever
Exactly.
reason, they just do it dumber. And I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
Oh yeah,
What
the
is it?
Germans just do everything better.
They really do though. The like German thrash, German death metal, German techno. I love it.
The
The
beat
more
down scene there is
incoherent, the better.
insane as well.
Yeah,
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 they do
yeah,
everything
definitely.
like way better.
Well, outside of wars, topical jokes.
Yeah, but
We,
I mean like Necrophagist, Obscura, Alkaloid, all that stuff.
yeah,
Prog gods as well.
definitely. And I did kind of going backwards because I obviously started off with like the extreme stuff being like slam and deathcore. I went backwards to find old school death metal and explored thrash a wee bit, and definitely like European thrash as a whole far outweighs a lot of American thrash.
Yeah, they're probably balanced for me. Like I was I never went through like too much of a thrash phase, but there was always bands like Overkill and stuff like that that
Oh yeah,
I like loved. Um
Overkill are sick.
yeah, no, they're just like fun, you know.
Yeah,
But
and more
yeah,
bands need to be like that. Whereas Metallica
yeah,
are just boring now.
I'm just gonna sort of dads playing dad rock now. Like they used to be so good.
Yeah, I mean, and
But
just we were just talking about the Revocation cover of Dyer's Eve, and Justice for All
yeah,
is my favorite album.
yeah, that was always one of my favorites when I was a kid.
It was definitely, I think, if they were going to be proggy, it's definitely that one.
Yeah, it's just a bit more out there.
It is, and it's
Obviously,
also
there's
like
like
what 50 minutes and 9 songs. The last track's like
yeah,
what 9 minutes long, which you never really hear
yeah, that's
anywhere
like
in
weird
thrash.
for a band like that. Yeah, you'd expect like Megadeth to do something like that, but
Did Megadeth even have a song that's over like 6 minutes?
probably not. I don't know. I was
So
always just like Marty Friedman era
yeah,
Megadeth, and like that's I just like listened to that on repeat and never really checked out much else, to be honest.
yeah,
I just like loved Rust in Peace and Countdown like so much.
yeah. Those albums are pretty good. Everything after that,
Yeah, it's like it's
let's
all right.
stop.
The Kiko stuff is like good as well because his leads are just like he's a
Yeah,
phenomenal guitarist, you know.
and now they've
So
got I forget his name, but it's one of those like stupid like Finnish names that nobody can pronounce looking at them. And he's filling in for them. I don't know if he's been made a permanent member yet,
I
but
don't know. I've not really been keeping up with that stuff to be honest.
I'm sure he'll be all right. The last album
Yeah, I mean he'll
was
be a good
okay,
guitarist if he's keeping up with Megadeth, you know.
even with Dave Mustaine's like aging fingers.
Yeah, he's kind of seems like he's had it.
He's he's becoming a bit like that one granddad that you know you're supposed to like say hi, but you just know he's going to be slightly racist and say some stuff that's not PC.
Yeah, probably.
It's like one of those granddads that would probably be cancelled.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of get those vibes from Dave nowadays.
I mean, I find it hilarious that like Megadeth launched an NFT.
Really, I didn't see that.
They launched the fucking NFT of all things. It's like the Cyber Army. Come on, guys, get our NFT.
That's
Join
horrendous.
our Discord.
Mm.
Dave Mustaine and Discord. I mean, we all know what happens when any other Megadeth member uses video chat.
Yeah, that was an interesting
That's
one.
a topical joke.
That
I
was bad, yeah. That was kind of the fall of Megadeth, I guess.
mean, to be fair, he got kicked out once and he got kicked out again. And now he's doing now they're
I
just
wanted to,
playing.
I saw him like he was filling in for something recently, doing festivals or something.
Oh yeah, he was filling in for Overkill actually.
Yeah,
Because
that
D.D.
was it.
Verney was like, I think, in having surgery or something.
Yeah, I saw that
And
on
he
Facebook.
filled in like Mexico, which to be fair would be pretty cool. I'm very happy I got to see Overkill a few years ago. It was before the pandemic actually, with Destruction
Nice.
and Flotsam and Jetsam, which
Oh yeah, isn't that Bobby's band? He was like the old guitarist for Overkill, I think. I may be chatting him hours, so I don't know.
Bobby, I don't recall him being in. Flotsam and Jetsam. I know Jason Newsted was in Flotsam and Jetsam,
Yeah.
and then he shifted to Voivod for a minute.
Oh, I love Voivod. They're like so good.
Voivod are really good.
I've never seen them live because they like every time they played Scotland. There's like another gig on that night that I'm at, or
Yeah.
something else is going on, and I've not been able to make it. And it's like,
Oh, it's always the worst. It's always the worst,
yeah,
especially when you are at another gig and it's not just, oh, I'm working or whatever. But I
yeah.
got to see them with, it was 2019 at the garage with Guar, actually.
I had tickets for that. That was another reason I didn't get to see Voivod. I was like 14 or 15, and I got like really drunk and didn't get let in, and spent the
Yeah.
whole night throwing up and passing out in Taco Bell. So yeah, that was a bit of a waste of time and money.
I mean, to
Yeah,
be
so
fair, it's
that's
Taco Bell, so it's fine.
so like Voivod
If
have
it was
escaped me like
KFC, then yeah.
everything. Yeah, I oh that was horrendous.
The latest
I got to
Voivod
see
album,
Guar though,
great.
so
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's really really good.
I like it. I like it a
The
lot.
Dan Mongrain's work is just like
Yeah,
he's phenomenal. I don't know
I
if you
love their
checked out
album
like
art as well. So good.
yeah, it's like really kind of
It's trippy and out there and
yeah,
really, it's like a kind of mix between like sci-fi and like psychedelia. It's really cool, which
almost
sums up their
reminds me of
music
like
well.
cave paintings and stuff as well.
Yeah, that's what the new one the latest one I should say, because it's like 2 years old. It reminds me of, it's like that, like if cavemen drew space. It was pretty cool, and
Yeah,
like the songs in it were pretty sick. But I'm very glad I got to see Guar back then, and also with Party Cannon a couple years ago.
yeah, that was some tour.
That was fun. And then they had the like all the fake blood and jizz as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
The jizz
I
being
saw the
blue.
Bloodstock and it was like it's just so funny. I remember
Hope,
they
hope
like
you brought a poncho.
oh, I was like far back enough so I didn't get sprayed, but I remember like they brought up like a dummy of the Queen or something and just ripped it to shreds. And I can't remember if that was before or after the Queen had just passed. Either way though, it was like
I don't. I
just so
imagine
funny.
him doing it now. And saying that, to be fair, when I went to see Sanguisugabog in February,
Yeah, that
before
was such
Dead as Shit, Devon just went like, "This song is dedicated to the Queen of England. It's called Dead as Shit."
yeah, no, that had me laughing out loud, man. That was so funny.
I loved how he shouted at a lot of local bands as well. That's really cool. It's
Yeah,
like he
that was
pays
it.
attention.
Yeah, yeah, because he was. I think it was Ewan from Iniquitous was saying like one of the
Yeah,
first bands that
they gave
Devon
him a
ever
shirt
toured
as
with.
well.
Yeah, one of the first bands that Devon ever toured with was like on an Iniquitous tour as well in the US somewhere. So like, yeah, it kind of shows you like small world, you know. And
Yeah,
now
it's
they're
pretty
like,
cool.
you know, that tour announced the other day. Uh,
Oh, that made me cry. And saying that, I've
man,
seen Kublai Khan twice, so
oh, I've never seen. I still need to catch them live.
oh my God, get ready to go full monkey. Because they are just full monkey. I saw them once with like Paleface and Dying Wish, who are also really good.
Yeah, I've seen Paleface before.
Dying Wish are also really good. It's like Melodeath mixed with hardcore, and it's really cool, actually.
Nice.
It is
I've never
really
heard of
cool.
that. I'll
And
write that down.
then the next time I saw them, it was literally a few months later because they came back to Glasgow in the Cat House with Chelsea Grin.
Yeah, I missed that. I can't remember why. I must have had something on because I really wanted to go to it, or it sold out or something.
I think it did sell out by the end of the
Yeah,
night, but
because
I'm
that was the
really
one that
happy I
God
got to
Eater
see
were
Chelsea
supporting
Grin.
as well, was it not?
Yeah, God Eater were on that as well.
Yeah, yeah, I think that sold out. No, that was a good lineup.
It was really good. God Eater crushed it. Kublai Khan again just went full monkey, and Chelsea Grin. I'm really happy I got to see them with Tom, and I got to actually hear Tom's vocals live, which he's brilliant. Love him. And that new
Yeah,
Darko album coming out next month, so yay me.
I need to check that out. I've heard good things about that.
Darko is just
Yeah,
it's like a huge blender of like loads of different styles of music. Like there's like dummy deathcore, there's like those weird like panic chords. It's just like wah, 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 like kind of Dillinger Escape Plan
oh,
kind of
nice,
thing.
nice.
Like a little bit of Thal in there, like Humanity's Last Breath Thal, which I've grown to love Humanity's Last Breath,
Yeah,
especially
I've
that
been on
new
a lot of
album.
that
Oh
recently.
my God. Just
Yeah,
that kind of midsection in Labyrinthian, I could listen to that over and over again, where it's just like that 4/4, just just
yeah,
full.
I feel like a lot of these
Brilliant.
bands like Bill Jarter as well have just kind of taken what Meshuggah created and just kind of like taken it even further, which is like
Oh
really
yeah,
cool.
absolutely. I think that like genuinely the heaviest tour ever would be Humanity's Last Breath and Meshuggah. If you can convince Buster to do two sets in a night, then potentially get Valjarta as well. I've never actually sat down and just like explored them, but that's the thing with a
Oh,
lot
it's
of
mad.
music.
Yeah, it's I find I listen to most music when I'm at work because
I
I
never
just
get
like
a chance to
get
because I work
headphones.
in a shop, so I
Yeah,
can't just like yeah, I
see, I've
can't
got
just.
like because of the long hair, I'll just like tuck it over my ear so you can't see an ear button.
I
So
mean,
it's like,
I mean, I wish I could do that, but kind of lacking in that department, unfortunately. But that's where this Unhallowed Void beanie comes in. Get it, Unhallowed Void,
yeah. Speaking of,
bigcartel.com.
I sorted out the merch shop last night, so it's all discounted stuff. It's all back up and running. So
You hear that, boys? Get in,
yeah,
save some money. Who doesn't like saving money? We're British. We're all tight bastards.
cost of living and all that. Get those
Exactly.
funds
See,
and
they're
use at
doing their
least.
bit.
Yeah.
Unhallowed Void are doing their bit to solve this country's problem. They are doing more than Rishi
Hey,
Sunak did.
exactly.
And I'm
Preach.
fairly sure he lasted less time than Liz Truss, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Do you remember seeing that? I don't know who did it, but somebody live streamed a cabbage. Like just
Yeah,
they had a
yeah.
cabbage, and the cabbage lasted
Oh,
longer than Liz Truss.
yeah. No, I saw that.
45 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't, yeah, it was like an update every day or something.
Cabbage still here. Cabbage still here. Liz Truss gone. Cabbage still
Yeah.
here.
That was like the most British thing I've ever seen.
I love this
Sums
country's
up this
level of
country.
pettiness and sarcasm. I
Yeah,
love it.
it's definitely unique.
I saw something. It was like they had a temporary. It was a temporary something that they were just supposed to have for a wee bit, and they took a picture of themselves like years later with a cake that's like "Happy sixth birthday to our temporary sign" or whatever.
Yeah.
Only in this country.
Yeah, you can trust the council to sort out potholes and all that as well. Yeah.
I would trust
Mhm.
them just like I would Jeffrey Dahmer with children.
Topical joke.
I mean, it's a wee bit too late for topical joke. I need to get that. I want to get like a soundboard and just have daft shit on it. Like, you see streamers have like the stream deck, just have tropical joke. I just
I
said
know.
tropical, Jesus Christ. I am professional.
I see this with like mad soundboards now. Like,
It's like seeing Matt Heafy. He's pretty much the
yeah, the
king
whole
of like
Twitch
metal musician
community.
streaming.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So I think there's a decent bit of money to be made there as well, because there's a bit of a loophole with the copyright. So you can kind of just because they use an AI detection tool or something, but it's
Yeah.
just not savvy enough, so folk can like just
Yeah.
stream whatever they want.
I find that
Like,
hilarious. It's like imagine like you're a musician and you're doing like YouTube or Twitch or whatever. You get copyright striked for your own stuff. It's like how
yeah,
prove that you own it. Here's me literally writing it, bro.
yeah, that happened with like one of my EP tracks. I tried to upload a playthrough of it, but I think it was on TikTok or something, and I couldn't because it was copy striked, and I was like, what the fuck? And I
Like
couldn't even like it. There wasn't even an option to like get in touch and prove like I am the dude who wrote it or anything. It was
it's like
just
it's like I did it. Here's literal video evidence of me writing it. Like how?
yeah, it's
I
just
find
all
that hilarious.
yeah. I think the internet is kind of a bit far gone now. Technology's taken over.
The robots are taking over.
Yeah, we Terminator next week
I mean, to be fair, look at all that stuff with like the AI artwork and like Pestilence and Deicide and their new albums.
and the Unhallowed Void EP. No, I
You're not
hate that.
supposed to admit to that.
Yeah, I had no part in that. I'll say
Yes, it was before you
that.
joined, so you're fine. You're innocent. We'll
Yeah,
just
no,
yell at Luke.
the new stuff will be good. We'll get pro. I'm like I like artwork, so
Yeah. I like
always.
a lot of artwork as well. That's one of the first things I usually notice about any band or album is like how cool is the artwork?
Yeah,
And also just stuff like the song titles, the album title, the logo, that kind of
yeah.
thing. That's
Honestly,
all the
like
stuff that you
everything
see.
visual kind of drags you in at first because
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, not everybody has an hour to sit down and listen to an entire album or whatever. So sometimes, just the cover can entice you in to listen to a couple tracks or whatever.
Yeah,
No.
definitely. That's how I found a lot of bands. I think that's
Yeah,
how I
same.
found I don't remember if that's how I found Sanguisugabog, but I saw like the thumbnail for the video of Dead as Shit, like how it's all
Yeah.
animated and stuff. It's like this will probably be cool. And yes, it is. That intro
Well,
riff.
yeah, even just like the logo and stuff. Like
I
it's
love their logo
it's
so much.
genius because
It is. And
it
their
just
like social media presence as well. It's just
yeah,
memes. And I'm
yeah,
here for it.
exactly. It's just like, they don't take themselves too seriously. And I feel like that's where like the best music lies.
No,
Folks
I
like
mean definitely. I mean look at like Peeling Flesh, Party Cannon,
yeah.
Ailstorm, because I will admit I'm one of those weirdos that's like that likes power metal.
I had a pirate metal phase.
He had the eye patch and the rubber duck, and he was going, "Oh wow!"
Yeah, it makes money.
It clearly does because they're playing festivals everywhere.
Yeah,
Must be
exactly.
doing something, writing stupid like pop songs with like pirate lyrics.
Yeah, yeah. We need to get on that. Next Unhallowed release will just be all pirate shanties and shit.
I am fully on board with that because I unironically like sea shanties. I unironically like them. It's the same with like again like we were talking about earlier. A lot of those like really stupid like low IQ rap like stuff from the 90s and stuff like that. I love that kind of stuff just because it is dumb.
Yeah,
I don't want to be smart. I'm done being
yeah.
smart. I want
That's
to
the
lose
thing
some
is
brain
like
cells.
there's so much music out there that's just so pretentious and like
Oh
so
God,
many
yeah, I
people are
agree.
like so elitist about stuff and at the end of the day it's like it's an art form, you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
It's
I
like
never did get like the whole like backseat like gatekeeping thing. It's like, "Oh, you're not true enough." What the fuck do you
yeah,
know, bro? What the fuck
yeah,
do you know? They're doing the thing. You're sat here in your mom's basement going, well, actually, that festival lineup is weak. Yeah, you're
yeah.
weak,
I mean
bro.
like
You're weak.
I feel like everyone's been a bit like that. Like I was like such an elitist for like brutal death metal stuff like a few years ago, but it's
Your your
it's like
your snare sounds too good.
yeah,
It's not
snares
pingy.
not ping enough.
Needs
Yeah,
more
like
ping.
like all that stuff. And I mean like it's an art form, just do
It
what you
is.
want.
Music's fun.
Yeah.
Art, music, video games, movies, it's meant to take us out of the cripplingly depressing reality that we're in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because like everywhere you go, it's like people are dying, world leaders are corrupt, and nobody can pay for anything, and we're gonna die. And it's like I don't want to think about all the don't want to think about that all the time. I want to
Like on some slams.
yeah, exactly. Slam makes literally everything better.
Exactly.
It is the best. So let's say let's have a few wee hypotheticals here.
Yep.
If you were to be stranded on an island and you could take only 5 albums with you, like say you have a vinyl record player and only 5 records, what 5 you taking?
Oh
I love these. I think I did it with Luke in the last episode, like what's your favorite slam albums? And I love people just going, oh fuck, making them sweat, making them think.
yeah, the thing is like I don't know, there's like so many answers because I could be like stuff that like I really liked when I was younger and stuff that I don't really listen.
Yeah, you've got
No,
that nostalgia thing.
like the Sanguinary Impetus by Defeat Sanity because that's just like insane. Uh,
I'm fairly sure he
Epitaph.
mentioned that. I know
Oh
Luke
yeah,
mentioned Defeated Sanity in the last episode, so that's 2 for 2 in it and Defeated Sanity.
yeah, they're like best band ever. Like it's just so ridiculously
They
tight
have
and
got the
aesthetic.
perfect like production as well. Like
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
that album from 2007? I can't remember the name of it, but that's like
Psalms of the Moribund, probably.
yeah, Psalms on the Moribund. That's like perfect slam production where it's
Yeah,
like it's pingy, like the snare's pingy, but it's not too pingy where you can't hear the riffs.
yeah. I really like that album because it's like I feel like it's kind of what a death metal album should be. Like it's a separate guitarist in each ear,
Yeah.
and it's like none of it's to a click. It's just like a drummer, like just going along and then layering it, and it just like I always thought it sounds like a bit like a train about to come off the rails, and like
Oh
but
yeah.
it's like it's just staying on like enough to
Yeah, you can just see it like it's
Yeah,
trundling along, but it's like clearly going. "Eh."
yeah, it's just like so frantic.
Yeah,
So yeah, that like between that album as well, because that's like probably one of my favorite albums as well. But like the Sanguinary Impetus is just like so
it
technical and
is.
stuff.
It
And
is good.
I've spent like a lot of time learning that album. Like when you kind of like look at like the themes and motifs like expressed throughout, like it's like theoretically really complex as well.
Yeah.
And there's like yeah, it's just insane. Like every time you listen to it, you notice like something new and the way like everything intertwines and all the syncopation and polyrhythms. And
Yeah.
it's just bonkers. So yeah, definitely that. And
So
then
four more to go.
definitely Epitaph by Necrophagus as well,
Mm,
because
yeah.
that's like one of those albums that got me into everything as well. Like it's just, I mean, it's people still go on about the third Necrophagist album and all that stuff, but
I don't see it happening. To be
nah, it
fair,
never
it took
will.
us 10 years to get a new Tool album.
Yeah, it's like Necrophagist is done, but and also if they did release another album, it would ruin the
I mean,
legacy.
look at the bar that they've set, because like
Yeah,
Epitaph is like up here. It's like anything else that would come out after that, it would be scrutinized by somebody. Somebody would
yeah.
hate it, even if it's the best thing on the planet.
Well, the other thing is like, that was like 20 years ago this year they released that.
That's
And
nuts.
and in that time, like so many bands have taken what they've done and like totally made something new. And in
Yeah.
my opinion, I feel like, if they just released another album of what they were doing back then, it wouldn't sit well in
No, I
everything
think you're
now.
right. It wouldn't, especially because bands have gotten like stupidly more technical. I mean, look at
Yeah,
Archspire, prime example.
yeah, yeah.
Bands like them and Fairy, Rings of Saturn, when they didn't suck ass, you
Oh
know.
yeah, that's been an interesting development over the last month or so.
Yeah, that's been hilarious. Now literally nobody's
Yeah,
in the band. Joel
yeah.
Allmans has left again. Ian left a few years ago, which bye. Um, I'm really sad about that because now they put out an album a couple years ago and it's just a snore fest. It was so bad.
Yeah, was that the one with like trap beats on it and that?
Yeah, which to be fair, I like a trap beat, but come on, you're a tech deathcore band.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
I miss those like weird like alien noises, like those alien sweeps. I miss that, and then like the mad blast beats, especially by Aaron on I think it was Ulta Ula he played on. Same with Miles.
Right.
Still brilliant.
Yeah, I was never too into Rings of Saturn, but like I always checked out their stuff when I was younger, and it's just like impossible.
Yeah, it just sounds it, and then you realize it's actually not as bad as you think, but it's still mental.
Yeah, they definitely push a lot of boundaries.
And now they're hmm,
Doing the opposite.
yeah, now they're doing the complete opposite, and Lucas is being Lucas.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, it's fine. There's plenty more deathcore bands out there, and a
Yeah.
lot of them are significantly better, so it's fine.
Um, third album. I'd probably have to go with Acroaces by Obscura,
Hmm.
because that's like I really like the fretless work on that. I got one of my old seven strings converted into a fretless, and I got that back today. So I'll be attempting to cover some of the crazy fretless solos on that album later on.
Ah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, that always blew my mind. That album. I'll butcher his last name. He goes by Fountainhead online, the guitarist,
Yeah.
who basically wrote all of that album and didn't get credited for it. Uh, yeah, his work on that was insane. It was like so definitely that album. Uh,
So that's three
or
down, two to go. I
ah,
love it. This is my favorite part when they're just like, oh God. See them squirm a wee bit.
I'd probably go with. I can't even remember what that album's called. It might be self-titled. I'll quickly check. It was Dave Davidson from Revocation, his sort of side project is called
Oh,
Gargoyle.
Gargoyle, that's it. It's like a
Yeah,
weird kind of super atmospheric grunge thing, which to be
yeah,
fair, that
it's sort
man
of
can
like
pull off anything.
it's like sort of jazzy grunge kind of
Yeah, it's
like
it's like Alice in
progressive.
Chains got thrown into a blender with like some weird jazz act.
Yeah, so that's like I always listen to that. It's just like bonkers. It's like it's just a kind of new take on stuff. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, I've never really heard anything like it. What else? I'm trying to think. I'm looking through my Spotify.
I know that's I think that's what I think Luke did that as well because it's like God, what else do I listen to?
Yeah, I mean, I listen to so much.
I certainly
Um,
try to. It's just hard with obviously I'm in work and I can't listen to stuff at work. It's
yeah,
pants. But any moment I get, I'm usually doing something to do with music, whether I'm at a gig or listening to music or like arranging this podcast, for example. Like I've got on like I was talking about, I have notes for everybody earlier. I've got notes for like a bunch of people that I'd love to have on. But
yeah,
so just doing that kind of thing and always looking for new bands and stuff like that.
yeah. Well, it's like an ever expanding
You never
community.
stop. That's the thing. It's something that I'm really grateful for in music is that there's always something new to discover.
Hmm.
Even when you think you've like platinumed metal, then
Hmm.
somebody else comes along and does something like completely daft and new. It's like stuff like back in the 90s, bands like Primus, prime example, coming out there with like a fretless bass and doing like that. I completely forgot what
Yeah,
the like thumping. It's like
yeah.
nobody did
George
that in
is
the
really good at
90s.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's like spent like so much time just sitting getting all that stuff. It's like bonkers. I don't get it.
We're getting a wee like like a wee thumping bass solo in the next release.
Oh
Get
yeah,
a
we'll
wee
get
bit of Primus in there.
all sorts of shit. Yeah,
Oh, it'd be cool. I love stuff like that.
yeah.
Just stuff that's
Um,
like random and daft. Like I remember in lockdown, like I follow Nuclear Blast, the label on Instagram,
mm.
and they posted these like this teaser thing with like a balloon on it. I'm going, what the fuck is this? And then it's like obviously like five, four, three. So I counted down the days, and it was announcing this band called Macabre, their new album that came out in 2020 called Carnival of Killers, and it's a weird mix of death metal, grindcore, thrash metal, and like children's nursery rhymes. I know that was my reaction. I'm going, what the fuck is this?
What?
So
I'll
they
save
they
that for
put
later.
they are it's definitely one of the weirder bands that I've discovered since well COVID. I listened to the first single from that album and I'm going, yeah, okay, this is weird. It's like exhumed and crack.
Yeah, I've just found. I'll check that out later. That seems interesting.
It is very interesting, and then there's like weird like clean singing parts, and then there's like these weird like I'm a crazy man vocals. I it's like that kind of it's like if Shaggy get like took PCP and got really angry,
Nice.
and all
What else
about
do you
like
need
serial
for that?
killers, like they've done a lot, like they have a whole concept album dedicated to Jeffrey Dahmer,
Fair enough.
and it's weird, but it's like, what am I listening to? Why do I like it? Can I have more?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about music is it's so like I think that's like one of the things I always liked about it is like when I don't understand something, like you can go and figure it out.
Yeah, especially in like the age of the internet, it's a lot easier to do that. I can just like type into Google, what the fuck is this? And
Yeah.
then you'll usually find a
I
Reddit
I
thread with people hating it.
I have no idea what I would do without Google. Like Google's like my favorite thing ever.
It's how I do pretty much everything in my life.
Yeah.
It's how I discover bands. It's how I do stuff at work because, well, I work in insert large hardware store here and I have basically no DIY experience. So I'm constantly going, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Well, it's just great. You don't need to know anything nowadays. You can just
It's
look it
it's
up.
true.
It's
It's true.
great.
I'll find like what kind of screws do you need? Hold on, I'll look it up. But first, here's an article on how the COVID-19 vaccine causes autism, gives you a giant penis. You know,
Yeah, like you can find anything.
yeah, exactly. It's like that. If you ever saw Bo Burnham Inside, he had that "Welcome to the
Yeah.
Internet" song. It's like here's a healthy breakfast option. Here's how to kill your mother.
Pretty much, yeah. That's like Reddit in a nutshell, to be honest.
Especially any metal subreddit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
why I don't go on there
yeah. No,
because
I
I'm
joined it
terrified.
years ago. It's just like so much nonsense on there.
Let's just we're just going to take Reddit, we're just going to put it over there. Just put
Yeah,
it over there. No, get back in the
Reddit
basement.
and Discord are kind of like interesting things. I tend to.
I do have a Discord. I don't really go on it much. I keep getting like pings from like the Disfiguring the Goddess Discord, which to be fair, I
Yeah,
love Disfiguring the Goddess. pretty much anything that man does, I'm game for it.
That's another project I've never really checked out.
It was a huge, it was like peak in like MySpace, like that
Oh,
really
right, nice.
brutal like
Yeah,
MySpace deathcore. And he's still been around. He's just kind of went under the radar a bit, still putting out some bangers. But
yeah.
it's like it's like super atmospheric but super brutal kind of thing. It's like
Nice.
if like Abigail Williams and
Oh,
like
I
defeat
love
like
them.
I do like Abigail Williams as well. They're one of the few black metal bands I can tolerate.
Yeah. No, I'm like really big fan of because like Veil of Nath and Abigail Williams kind of share members, so they're always like so
Yeah, they do.
like
I mean,
pretty
they're doing
similar
it.
stuff.
Yeah, I do. Abigail Williams is definitely up there, but a lot of black metal I just can't take seriously. It's like, come on, look at you.
Yeah, I love blackened genres, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just can't really like I used to like listen to a bit of like sort of second wave stuff like Mayhem and Dark Throne and all that stuff, but a lot of it's just like so edgy and like shit.
It's like, look at me, my name's Lothar.
Yeah, like I mean I get why people like it, but it's just not really my thing. And I can't get past the like trying to make it sound as raw and brutal as possible when it's like, you
No,
just
you've just
don't know how to
recorded it
record
on
it.
a cheap like cassette player from the 80s. That does
Yeah,
not mean it's raw. It just means that you're bad at producing.
yeah. But I mean like black and death metal and stuff's like always been one of my favorites. Like
Yeah.
I think like one of the best bands I've seen live was definitely Belphegor. They were like
Oh yeah.
terrifying.
That was at Lord of the Land, wasn't it?
Nah, I saw them at Bloodstock a few
Oh,
years ago.
that well, that's where I saw them. I definitely like them. Same with like Anal Nathrak. There's another prime example.
Yeah.
But you don't see them putting on stupid panda makeup like an off-brand Kiss.
Yeah, I can't really get behind corpse paint. It's not.
I don't get it, but you know what? It looks cool, even if it does look a bit stupid. But you're not gonna see me like deep diving into black metal a lot. Like I like Cradle of Filth and Dimmu Borgir. Like a
Yeah,
lot of that kind of leaning stuff. I'm a sucker for symphonic leaning stuff. Like
yeah,
them,
same.
Flesh God Apocalypse, Shadow of Intent,
Yeah,
that new Unhallowed Void stuff. Shameless
right.
plug. I love that symphonic stuff because it's like it makes me feel classy, but also want to punch things.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. We can stick that on the back of the new CD. Classy, but violent.
Yeah, I'm back for
Get that
nice
like
merch
bold
on.
italic back print that a lot of I miss that stuff.
Yeah.
The neon cartoon monster merch. When are we getting like a bright pink t-shirt with I don't know, Jimmy
Oh, like
Neutron like ripping the shit out of Mr. Krabs or something, and then the bold italic back print.
yeah, like the Warp Tour stuff.
Yeah, I love the
Oh,
look of that stuff. It's brilliant.
yeah, that kind of died a death though, didn't it? Like
And now you
it's
just
sort of
see
there one
everybody with
day
like
and
the little
then
tiny logo on the nipple, like a Carhartt t-shirt. And I'm going, bro, if I want to buy a t-shirt with like a little nipple on the logo, I'd just go and buy a Nike one.
yeah,
I
yeah, I
don't
get that.
get that. I never did like that. It's like that and headless guitars. Why?
I quite like headless guitars.
I'm
They're
sure they're great
handy.
instruments, don't get me wrong, but
They
it
look
just
weird.
doesn't look, they look weird. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just me being an old fart, but like they sound really good. Like I've seen like I saw Volvedinia play a couple years ago and they had headless guitars, and I'm sure I've seen other bands that have headless stuff and it sounds good, but just I don't know. It just looks weird.
Yeah, they're really handy for like I mainly got one for travel because it's like it's
Yeah,
a
because it's
nightmare trying to
lighter and it fits
bring
better in a smaller
yeah
case, and
yeah
yeah,
because
I
I was
get
like
that.
back and forth to college every day with like
Yeah,
and don't want to take hard cases and stuff because it's like I did that for a while and it's just horrendous
yeah,
and it's like it negates things like neck dive and stuff so it's like it's just like sort of easier to
yeah.
play
It's
live like you're not having to argue
yeah,
with
that
your
makes sense. It just looks weird. Which, to be fair,
yeah
if that's the only downside, then maybe that's what I should do. If I ever decide to pick up guitar again, which I like when I was like 18 or something, I did like try and learn to play, but it's like, no, you're getting an acoustic first and blah blah blah, like we were talking about at the beginning of
yeah
this.
yeah
And I'm like, well, I don't want to play this. I want to play Suffocation. Can't really do that on an acoustic. As much as Death can make acoustic guitars work. I mean, Voice of
yeah
the Soul, prime example, but it's
I
not
mean, there's
fun
like
for me.
so many resources online now that
Yeah.
Like all you need to know how to do really is be able to like read tab, and then you can do whatever you want basically.
Yeah, it's just finding accurate tabs. That's the only thing.
Yeah, yeah. But
This
you can,
podcast is sponsored by Sheet Happens. No, it's not. It's not. Please don't come for me. I'm
yeah. I
not.
mean,
I'm not a guitarist.
obviously you can pay shed loads of money for like tab books and stuff. Which, to
Yeah.
be fair, I do. It supports artists, and it's like I get a good
Yeah,
bit
of
of money.
course. That's the thing that, especially for me, is I like knowing that I'm supporting the artist.
Yeah,
It's like why I do this podcast and why I come out to all these shows and
yeah,
like buy merch and stuff. It's like, especially because I just don't buy like physical media like CDs and cassettes. Like, why are cassettes a thing? They sound crap. Why are they a thing
um,
now?
yeah. It's. I think it's just a collector's thing. I mean, like I've got a few cassettes of some sort of brutal death metal stuff that are kind of cool collectible things. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But you'd never actually play them though, because
no,
one,
I mean,
who owns a cassette player? And two,
yeah,
they sound like shit.
yeah, like I, I've got a cassette player and stuff, but it has this like hissing in the back,
Yeah.
which I like loads of people like because it's like that's what they were used to when they were younger or whatever. But obviously, I'm like an internet baby, so
Oh,
I'm used to like
same, same.
high fidelity sound and all that shit. So
I was born in that weird era where it's like I got the death of grunge in 9/11, so it's like I don't really get anything good.
yeah, yeah,
Because it's like what 1990 something. No, wait, it was like 2003 when Lane Staley died. I know it was like 1997 or something like that when Kurt Cobain died, and then obviously 2001, 9/11. So I never really got to get anything fun. I just got all the bad things in the planet. But
yeah,
yeah, no, I'm definitely a streaming guy. I will admit that. But if I like an artist, I will go and like buy t-shirts. Like there's a
yeah,
cupboard right here that's like probably bursting with them. Like it actually is burst at the back. Like the back panel of the wardrobe has went like that because
yeah.
there's just that much shit. And then my bed behind me is one of those like those beds you can lift up and store stuff. You'll never believe what's under there.
Yeah, I mean, like I've had to like start selling some t-shirts because I've got like over 200 band shirts just from like going to gigs and then buying them online and stuff. It's like
Yeah,
I feel like you get out of the community what you put into it. So, it's like
I think so, definitely.
it's like
I
if you're going
definitely
along
think
to
so.
I try to have a rule of like one piece of merch per band now because like I've got like
Yeah.
a few bands where I've got like so much merch there's like no need, so I try and keep it to like one piece per band, and then it's like I
And
can
then there's
equally
like
support everyone.
200,000 bands and stuff like that. So you're going to
Yeah,
have a shitload anyway.
yeah,
But I definitely feel that whenever I go to a show, I think if this band has merch, do I have anything from them already? And because if it's something like a beanie, then I will like probably get an Unhallowed Void shirt the next time I see you if you have actually good ones that aren't a stupid little nipple logo.
I know.
Like I'm
Oh
sure they're cool and some people like them, but it's just not for me. I want the big stupid lettering, the big gory design, the back print that says cunt on it.
noted.
Just nothing else. You don't need to do the whole thing of like Jesus is a cunt. Just have cunt. That's it.
Yeah, you get,
Just in bold, italic logo, done. I'll
yeah,
buy it.
I mean that's the thing is like merch is like the best way for musicians to make money right now, especially like local musicians and stuff, because you get, you know, physical media is like dead.
Pretty much, yeah, unless you're an old fart.
Yeah, and
But
like
yeah,
streaming services pay like absolutely nothing.
yeah.
I think from the EP for the solo project I put out, it was like 26 pence or something I've made off that,
Can't
which
even
is
buy a
like,
Fredo.
yeah, it's like
How are they
maybe a
30
few years ago.
pence? Why?
Maybe a few years ago. But like,
If you start Sacris in like 2006, then maybe you could
yeah.
get a Fredo.
I mean, like, it doesn't bother me that much because it's like, you
Well, no,
know,
you don't go in this to make money. Like,
yeah,
if you're going into music to make money, first off, why are you doing deathcore? And secondly, people are going to see that you're going to do that, and they're not going to want anything to do with you. It's
yeah,
like
it's
I
like,
was watching a Kadikarus video, and one of the things he said really stuck out with me is that if you think you're a hot piece of chicken before being put in the oven to cook, the rest of the world is going to see how raw you are and throw you in the bin with the rest of the spoiled meat.
yep, pretty much.
Which it is true. It's funny that that comes from a guy who puts on a kite costume and goes, "Hello, I'm Spuds." I love
Yeah,
that. I love that dichotomy of just like stupid dumb shit, but then something actually kind of profound.
yeah. It's just like, I mean,
If you're gonna do something, do it for the art. It's like I told
yeah,
my dad the other day that I was doing this podcast, and immediately he's like, "How can you make money?" It's like, you can
yeah.
do things on this planet without having to monetize it. And
Well, that's the
even
thing.
then,
It's
if
like,
I could monetize it, I ain't making
yeah,
shit.
it's like for me, it's like music's always just been like a hobby, which
Yeah,
obviously like now I'm like trying to branch out and
I
figure
do
out a way
different
to make
stuff. Yeah,
money in it. But like at the end of the day, like it's I don't like see it as like putting in like a shit ton of work and like all that stuff. It's just like it's what I enjoy doing, so it kind of
it's an
just
escape from having to
happens.
do the mundane of like that whole like hardwired path that
Yeah,
everybody's having to go down. And it's like you need to earn a job, you need to earn money, and like buy a house and do all that shit. Or it's like, no, give me, I want to write riffs.
yeah, exactly. It's like writing hard riffs is therapeutic.
It's gotta be hard. It's like whenever Jamie Josta says like hard, it's just like it's gotta
Hard.
be hard.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard. I love it so much. I love Jamie Josta, and he's actually dropping a thrash record tomorrow, and I'm like, yay, this will be
What?
good.
I need
Yeah,
to
it's
check
called.
that
It's like look it up on Spotify. Then now it's just Jamie Josta, and it's called And Josta for All.
out. No
It gets
way.
even better. The cover art is just a straight rip of that.
That's wild.
It is wild and it's great. Which, to be fair, it's Jamie Josta. He can do whatever he wants, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's Jamie Josta. It's fine. Fucking play Glasgow.
Yeah, I always liked
I
Hatebreed when I was younger. They
I
were
want
like,
to see Hatebreed. I want to see anything that Jamie Josta's involved in.
oh, that is nuts.
It's brilliant. And he's got some cool guests in it as well. Like there's Phil from Sacred Reich on one track, I think.
Oh
Or is
yeah.
it Phil
Oh,
Demmel? I don't
nice.
know.
Hardcore thrash. Oh, that's gonna be good.
To be
Nice.
fair, I like crossover thrash a lot more than just like regular thrash, like Gamma Bomb as opposed to like Megadeth. Just because it's like
Yeah,
faster, you're not having to sit through all the wankery, and plus it can be funny.
yeah,
I like it when
yeah,
they can be funny, like Municipal Waste, prime example.
yeah. I need to see them. I
Well,
know they're
they
playing
are.
with Cannibal.
Yeah, was just about to say that they're playing
Yeah,
the Barras with Cannibal, which imagine that circle pit.
yeah. That's gonna be a good one.
That's going to be nuts. That's going to be really good. And they're also bringing Immolation, who I quite like. They're
Yeah,
quite
I've
good.
always wanted to see Immolation.
They'll be
The
pretty good.
they're always like their
They just
most
never
recent
play
album
here.
is really good as well.
There's a lot of bands that like over especially this year and last year that I never thought I'd get to see. Like I never
Yeah,
thought I'd get to
same.
see Dark Funeral, never thought I got to see Deicide or
Hmm.
something like
Yeah,
that. I'm trying to think who
Scotland's like
else.
on the map now. You know, it's not that place is
Yeah,
getting left out anymore.
to be fair,
Well, still does a
that's
bit.
just Wales now. But Wales has always been left out, which I feel bad for Wales.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hilarious, but
No, the local promoters are like, you know, they're like just bringing that shit back, and it's
yeah,
like
they're
really good
doing
to
really
see.
good. Like I'm pally with Craig from Hamilton
Hmm.
Hunter, because I can speak. And like the lineups he puts on are incredible. And I tell him this every time I see him. It's like, mate, the lineups you put on are the best that I've been to, hands down.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, Hamilton Hunter and Triple G are just like dominating the scene right now, and it's
They
like,
really are. They're putting on all the good stuff.
yeah, there's like a lot of really really good bands coming over, like Cynic as well. Like I never thought I'd get to see Cynic
Yeah,
live, which was
I'm
like,
gutted I missed that. I'm gutted I missed that.
oh,
Same
it
with
was
like the
sick.
it was I think it was Decapitated, Inferi, and Obscura were on
Yeah,
there like in
yeah,
December last
yeah.
year, and I regret not seeing that. But I'd seen Decapitated the year before on their headline tour, and I remember this because it was the day I got back from holiday. I landed in Edinburgh Airport at like just after 3, got a lift home from Edinburgh to Falkirk, got changed, dropped my case off, back on the train to Glasgow for 5:15.
That's dedication.
It is
The most
genuinely, if
dedicated
I
guy we've
can,
seen.
I try my best. If I can go to a gig, I will absolutely do everything I can to the point where I'm begging work, just like, please don't let me finish at 8 p.m.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty lucky with my work as well because it's like the latest I'll finish is like 7:30, so I can get through to see bands and stuff. So
And you'll
because it
still
was
see the
like,
whole lineup as well.
yeah, it's like, you maybe miss a few opening bands here and there, but yeah, it's I can get to most gigs because that's like one thing I've always loved doing. It's just like going to gigs.
Yeah, it's definitely been, especially seeing as like COVID took away that. Just when I was getting
Yeah,
really into seeing gigs, it's like, nope, no gigs for like 2 years or a year and a half. And then the first gig back, like there's a question. Your first post-COVID gig.
Cryptic Shift. Yeah, that was
That's good.
solid. They're like phenomenal.
I don't think I've seen them, but
Oh, they're
I definitely
mind
want to.
blowing. It's like
Definitely want to.
they opened with, well, they played I can't remember. It was the last single before the album.
Hmm.
Uh, and then after that, they went straight into Moonbelt Immolator, which is like 25, 6 minutes long. And it's just this like insane cosmic death metal with like, vocoders, ambience, like total insane shred, just riffs, dissonance. It's like everything.
Imagine it's
So good.
like here's the opening song, and then here's 25 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. They play an opening song and then
Insane.
it's just like half an hour of pure wizardry, and then they finish off with a couple other tunes as well. It's like I don't even know how you remember that stuff. They're
It's the
like,
weirdest things that you remember about a show.
yeah,
It's like I remember like one thing from the Party Cannon gig in February, it was like there was two people dressed in penis costumes, which
yeah,
is
sounds about right.
yeah, like I expect that. And I expect to see somebody in a dick costume. It's like how in the US there's always seems to be one guy dressed as a banana.
Yeah,
Why
or
there's
at
always that one
festivals and
banana
stuff.
guy.
Yeah, I've seen some interesting outfits at gigs and festivals and stuff.
To be fair, I
Usually,
admire
this,
the dedication. Like these people that
yeah,
are putting on like full on makeup and costumes and stuff like that. It's like, bro, I don't have the time. I'm leaving
yeah.
straight. Like last night when I went to see Rotten Sound in Escuela Grind, I literally left straight from work. I took over like a change of t-shirt and I just kept like my work trousers and boots on. Which standing still for like 4 hours in stainless steel.
Hmm.
I'm an idiot. Steel-toed boots. Probably not fun for your feet.
Oh, must be pretty
Why did
rough.
I do it to myself? I don't know. I woke up feeling like
Saves you from
shit.
getting
This,
your toes stood on at gigs, so
it means if I ever do start moshing, it means someone's gonna
yeah.
die.
I've ruined a few pairs of trainers in pits and stuff. Just like get wrecked so quickly.
I'm kind of glad I don't have like a pair of expensive like Adidas or something like that because as soon as I go to a gig, that's it fucked.
Yeah, yeah. Docs are always good for that stuff.
Yeah, I
Pretty
should get like a
resilient.
new pair of trainers. I have a pair of. I remember a few years ago, Vans brought out this like limited Simpsons collaboration.
Oh, I think I saw them. Yeah.
I got a pair of like a pair of Vans trainers with the Simpsons on them, which I don't wear often enough. I should do that, but I kind of want to. Like I remember, you remember a few months back there was the Korn and Adidas collaboration.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, bro, I want the purple tracksuit.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. That was,
I
although
would love a pair of Korn Adidas.
it seems like a bit of a cash grab, you know.
I mean, it is, but at the same time, like, come on, it's a purple tracksuit.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
looks cool. It'd be different if it was just like an Adidas T-shirt with like like again the nipple logos, like just a corn logo like there. It's like that would definitely be a cash grab. But at least they're doing
yeah,
something cool, like the purple tracksuit you see JD wearing, and like the high
yeah,
top shoes. Like I love a pair of like corn Adidas high tops.
yeah.
They
That'd
look
be sick.
awesome.
I'd totally wear that.
That would be like my stage. That'd be my stage gear if I ever started performing. Which I have talked to some pals and stuff about forming like a piss take slam band. It's like
Yeah.
not to do anything with it because come on, it's slam. You're not going to make money. Let's be
Ah,
really
no,
unless you're peeling flesh. But that's
nah.
unless you're peeling flesh.
That's the thing is like, I guess it's quite unexpected. Stuff can unexpectedly happen, you know. Especially
That's
like
true.
right now, like metal's relevant, especially
Yeah.
extreme stuff and slam and like,
I mean,
you
look at like Slaughter to Prevail and Lorna Shore had like Lorna Shore played Coachella.
yeah, shit like that.
Coachella.
Like it's 5, 10 years ago that would like never have happened.
Yeah. Or
And
like
it's
Cannibal Corpse selling out like Lorna Shore selling out the Barrowlands.
yeah, I saw like knocked loose with all their new stuff were like
Yeah,
outranking Taylor Swift on some chart somewhere. I was like,
yeah,
this
that's how
would
it should
never
be
happen.
because Not Loose is way better.
Yeah, but like it's just the type of thing like you wouldn't expect to even like be possible, but
Yeah,
it's
I
like
think it's great. I'm living for it. It's like
yeah,
metal's entered a new golden age, which I
yeah,
suppose is thanks to TikTok as much as TikTok is full of cringe. It is thanks to
yeah.
TikTok.
Like the internet's like given a lot of reach for that stuff, and it's a lot easier to like explore music and different genres and bands, and you can like easily find what you like and what you don't like. Like back when it was just CDs and stuff, it was like you
Yeah,
could
or if you went
kind of
on like
get what
LimeWire
you
and you downloaded a dodgy link, it's like
yeah,
here's the new Bring Me the Horizon single, and next thing you know, your computer's fucked.
yeah, yeah. I was never like I just went straight from like buying CDs to just like having Spotify because
Yeah,
I kind of had the whole thing of like you only had like the go into a CD shop and kind of pick what looked cool. Whereas now
yeah.
you can just kind of get everything, which is like really good, but also bad because you make no money. But
You make no money, and also when it comes to like physical media shopping, I do miss like going into HMV or something, and like because HMV had a really good metal section for a while, and now it's like
yeah,
nothing. And there's like, and I love looking like all the cool vinyl records, and I love looking for like the limited edition prints, like the weird splatters and colors and stuff like that. I've got a stack of them just to my left. I love
yeah,
looking for that kind of stuff because it's like not only is it my favorite album, it's also like cool, trippy colors and stuff. Like I've got a bunch of Saxon, some Megadeth, some Judas Priest, some Maiden.
yeah, nice.
I think
Yeah,
I
I
got a
mean like
purple King Diamond album, which I really like.
oh nice.
I
Yeah,
love looking
like
for stuff like
pop's
that.
still really good for metal and stuff. Like last time I was in there, there was like Suffocation, Revocate. There was even like a Disgorge album, Parallels. Like I'd never
Yeah,
seen a Disgorge album in a Scottish record store, you know. But
imagine. We need
yeah,
Discords to come here. Just saying.
yeah. Well, they're playing. Well, not Disgorge, but To Violently Vomit are playing Awful Fest this summer in
I'm very
Manchester.
upset that, like, I know obviously the Scottish scene is booming, but we need like a slam festival. Because obviously like, you have Slam Fest down in Manchester, and I
Yeah,
know we have Dead of Winterfest up here, which I went to Dead of Winterfest this year. It was brilliant.
yeah. I was really mad I couldn't make that because there were some really good
I
bands in
booked
there.
like the weekend off, and I made a thing of
Yeah,
it. I got like a hotel and everything because like the hotel I got was like 2 minutes from the venue. It was around the corner, and
nice, nice.
I'm gonna do the same again because they're doing it again next year,
Right.
and they're also doing they're planning on doing like a pre-show like the night before.
Oh, nice, nice.
So I'm definitely gonna do the same thing for that. And just make like a
Yeah.
big death metal weekend though.
No, that'll be cool. I'll definitely come to that one.
You
There's just
should. It
something
was really
came up
good.
the last time I was like feeling. I really want to see Unburier as well. I've still not
Yeah,
seen them live. They're like one of my favorite like UK bands right now. They're like
yeah.
I don't know if you've checked out their most recent EP, but it's like bonkers.
I think I skimmed it and I was like, yeah, this is some good shit. But
It's just solid death metal. Like
that's what I love. I
no
love just
bullshit.
good meat and potatoes death metal. I mean, look at bands
Yeah.
like Frozen Soul, 200 Stab Wounds, Gatecreeper. That new Gatecreeper album comes out tomorrow, and I'm fucking stoked.
I must be living under a rock because I've not heard about any of this stuff.
Oh my, like, I'm just giving you a bunch of homework, is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm
So we'll
gonna
do a
write that
follow up.
down as
We'll do a
well.
follow up podcast like next week, and we'll see if you've done your
Where I
homework.
review everything.
Exactly. Did you listen to that new Gatecreeper? No, sir. Right, get the belt.
I'll check that out. I've always liked that.
They've got it's like they call themselves stadium death metal, which I think's hilarious. And saying that, like the other night, I'm on a Marth played in an actual stadium. So
Yeah, I saw that. That was bonkers.
with Obituary and Frozen Soul as well, mental.
Yeah, Frozen Soul have, like gone from like 0 to 100 like real quick.
They're so good, and I've seen them twice, and I'm very happy.
Yeah, I have I seen them. It's another one of them bands that keeps kind of escaping me.
Yeah,
Like,
and also they've only really just started touring overseas. Like they came here last
yeah,
year with Dying Fetus, which I'm very glad I got to see Dying Fetus,
yeah, I just
and then
missed that one as well.
they did the headliner in February, which was really good with
Hmm.
Creeping Death.
Yeah,
Also
I saw
pretty
them
good,
before. They're
yeah.
really good. I saw
And
them
then
in Dublin.
Undeath as well. That was their that
Yeah,
show
I
at the
need to
Flying
catch
Duck
them.
last year was their first ever international show.
Really?
Yeah, their first ever
Jeez.
like overseas show was in Glasgow.
That's kind of mad.
I love that. I also remember like their vocalist Alex was he had went to Edinburgh like a few years before on his holiday, and then they booed Edinburgh, and he's just like, "Yo, fuck Edinburgh, your beef is my beef." I
Fair
love
enough.
seeing like all these American bands coming over here and interacting with the Glasgow crowds
Yeah,
because we're
it's like,
mental.
I mean, that's what it's about. It's like it's a community. It's like the amount of like people you end up getting in touch with and talking to, and like it's
Yeah,
such a
especially
small
now that we're
world.
like in the era of Instagram where I can literally just
Yeah,
pop you a message. It's like I did the other day, just like, hey man, how's it going? Like imagine being able to do that shit with like Corpse Grinder or Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth or John from Dream Theater. Like imagine being able to just message them and be like, hi,
yeah. I
and
mean,
then them
that's kind of mad.
responding. Imagine
Yeah, one day.
my do Death Girls again, Michael. Blocked. They're doing a. I did see the other day that apparently Opeth are doing a by request set. I
Yeah, I
guarantee
saw
you they
that.
are doing nothing past Watershed
Probably.
because everyone's
That's
just
at
like,
Bloodstock,
nope.
right?
I think so. I know it's for some festival, but it's like we're doing a by request set. You're not going to see anything past like Ghost Reveries or Watershed.
Yeah,
Which, to be fair, those are
yeah.
brilliant albums. The stuff after that, like in the 2010s, like, I mean,
I
it's
was
good,
never
but it's
like
not Opeth.
I always like enjoyed Opeth. Again, it's like one of the bands I like. I'm not good with album names. There's
Yeah,
okay on Spotify. It's I always I always like liked it though,
yeah.
and
I
I always had
did.
it recommended to me. What's the oh yeah, Damnation, Ghost Reveries, and what's the other one?
Probably be Blackwater Park or something. Because
Yeah,
that's
it
like the
will
thing
be.
that's like everybody hails as their masterpiece.
Yeah, it rings a bell. I couldn't remember if that was a song on the album.
I quite like I'd say Still Life is probably my favorite. The one with that kind of like weird red lady in the cover. And then
Right.
they did then he did Bloodbath after and people are like, yay, he's growling again, and then he fucked off again.
Yeah, I was like Bloodbath when I was younger. It just
Bloodbath was
again like
sick.
another just solid death metal band.
Exactly, and they've got that HM2 tone, and it's just like,
Yeah, yeah.
ooh, I love that
It's
HM2
just
tone.
chunky.
It is that chainsaw, just like I mean, Entomb Left Hand Path and Wolverine Blues, prime
Yeah.
example. Like Rotten Sound last night, I noticed he had an HM2 in his board there, and he sound checked it, and I'm just going, Jesus fucking Christ. It was so loud, honestly. I don't think any phone audio would have given it justice to just how fucking loud it was.
Yeah, I don't think it ever does. Like you see videos of gigs and it doesn't really convey it that well.
Yeah.
Like the
It
actual
would need to be like
atmosphere and
professionally
the
recorded, like get it from the mix board or whatever.
yeah.
But like for me personally, whenever I go to a show, I take like a few pics at the beginning of the set just for like an Instagram post, which if you scroll back through my Instagram, there's gigs from like the past couple of years.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't really do more than that. After I do that, I put my phone away so I can actually watch it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that as well. Like I just like enjoy being there and watching it. Also, like after a
Unless
couple of
something
beers,
daft
I
or funny
forget how
happens,
to
then you're
use
like,
my
oh
phone.
God, get the camera. And then it's like done. It's like, God damn it. Then get my camera
Yeah,
fast enough.
yeah. Although it's like, yeah, I mean, I've been to like a few gigs where it's just a sea of like phones, and you're a bit like, what,
Is
like, are you
anybody
not
actually
better?
looking at
Yeah, you're
this?
not better like actually watching it instead of watching it through a screen. Like if you
Yeah.
paid like 60 quid, whatever.
I
Like,
know that's how much I paid for Sepultura tickets.
yeah, like, but I
Which, to
mean,
be
even
fair, Sepultura is one of those bands that like you keep seeing their name everywhere, but you never actually just sit down and listen
wait, is
to.
that was it 60 quid for the tickets to their farewell tour?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Which, to be
I was
fair,
like,
it's going to be worth it because it's got
yeah, it's a
Ginger,
good
Jesus
lineup.
Piece, and Obituary. And
Yeah.
Obituary are like the gold standard for me for death metal.
That's got to be like one of the weirdest lineups I've ever seen, though.
It's sick though. It's
It's like,
cool.
yeah, it's like really sick, but it's like so, it's like the goats from like so many different genres.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I've yet to see Jesus Piece. I've seen Obituary before, and they kill it just because they are so good at what they do. But
Yeah, I still need to see them.
Ginger, I've never really deep dove into them, but I've heard snippets on like YouTube videos and stuff, and it's like it's good.
Yeah, I used to
Definitely
be
don't
into them
hate
when I
it.
was younger. I've seen them live before, and they're like really good.
Yeah,
like really tight. The
yeah,
vocalist is like she's phenomenal as well. Like switching from growls to cleans, like it's nobody's business. It's like
yeah. I
really
love that
impressive.
stuff. And I love that they're doing a lot more of these like mixed genre bills and tours as well. Because like, yeah, it's all cool having like four deathcore bands or four hardcore bands or death metal bands, but if you have something in there that's a little bit different to break it up, there was actually
Yeah, that's kind of what Dying Fetus do.
yeah, I mean, look at the tour they did last year. They had them, Nasty, a
Hmm.
hardcore band, Cabal, a deathcore band, and then Frozen Soul, old school death metal. And then
Yeah,
they're like brutal death metal. I
yeah,
love that. I like these mixed genre stuff because it attracts a bigger audience as well, and
yeah,
it's a lot less like bludgeoning on the ears, I think.
yeah. If it's the same stuff for like a few hours, you're kind of like over it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like I remember if you know, obviously you'll know Archspire, but their guitar
yeah,
player Dean, he
yeah,
put a video last year on putting together like the lineup for their last European tour and how they go about it. And it was they have the same philosophy where they want some crossover between their support acts, but not too much. So that way you're still able to tolerate Archspire when they come on. And
yeah,
it's like they had their inspiration from I think it was Despised Icon who put out a tour a few years ago with them, Malevolence, Archspire, and Volvidinia. So it's like a little bit of everything that they do,
yeah,
like the hardcore bit, the slam bit, the tech bit. And I think that's important because, well, again, it saves your ears from just being bludgeoned. And then by the time the headliner comes on, it's like, I need to go to bed.
yeah. No, I'd agree with that. It just it works better. It's more diversity, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God, we've been going for like over an hour. And every time I
Time
do these,
flies.
I'm sitting here thinking, Jesus Christ, am I actually able to fill out a podcast without it being like shitloads of dead air that I need to edit out and then ruin the point of a podcast?
Yeah.
But just before we wrap up here, we'll just say what's next for like Sacris and Unhallowed Void? Anything you want to plug? Anything in the
Yeah,
works?
so the next Unhallowed release is like well underway, so that will hopefully be finished up soon. I'm not gonna like put any dates on it because there's still a lot of shit to do.
Well, yeah, and life
Um,
because everybody's working and
yeah,
shit like that, of
yeah, it's
course.
been a busy few months for everyone as well. So we're hoping to polish everything up over the summer, get it all recorded and sorted out and stuff. So yeah, hopefully in the near future,
Yeah,
something coming your way, maybe a few singles. We'll
I'm
see.
up for that. I'll definitely check
Uh,
them.
yeah. So the merch store's back up. So everyone out there, pick up some merch. Cost of living
Exactly,
crisis.
exactly. You heard the man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unhallowedvoid.bigcartel.com. Get yourself some cheap threads.
Yeah. Everything's on
Expect
sale.
who doesn't like cheap stuff? You know who
Yeah.
doesn't like cheap stuff? We are all tight bastards.
Exactly. Yourself trip down. Sacris, yeah, next release is well underway as well. Uh, Taking a lot more influence from like fusion and stuff for the next one. The last one was kind of more symphonic classical stuff, but kind of shifting more into like fusion, jazzy, pretentious shit. So
He gets
plenty
all
of
the
that.
guitar wankery out of the way in Sacris, so that way he can save all the dummy riffs for Unhallowed Void.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta have that good
That's how the
divide.
process works. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So I'm looking at like sort of expanding it out as more of a studio project.
Yeah, of
I
course.
don't like I I'm not too bothered about taking it live as of right now. So yeah, I'm sort of just trying to flesh it out with some musicians for studio projects. So
Yeah.
anyone out there who's interested, specifically vocalists and that, yeah, hit me up. And keep an eye out on all the socials and that.
Yeah, I'll have like your Instagram, the Sacris Instagram, the Unhallowed Void Instagram.
Yeah, nice one.
I'll have all that stuff linked in the description as
Yeah, I
well when I
appreciate
go
that.
to edit this. It should be up in the next couple of days. Maybe not after this is filmed. Need to like edit my I
Yeah,
say edit, it's not
yeah.
it's hardly like sitting in the cutting room floor. I'm literally just like trimming it a bit and then adding my intro and outro, which are
Yeah,
10 out of 10 professionally made, definitely not by templates. What you on about? I'm
that's what
still
they're there for. That's
I'm
what they're
quite
there for.
proud of my like the video outro mainly just because like you see people that are like and subscribe and I'm just like taking the piss. It's like and subscribe or I'll tell your mom about that thing you did because I don't take myself seriously and I have no intentions to. because that shit's boring. You can go watch Joe Rogan for that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. So anyway, thank you again, David, for being the second guest of the Cracking the Shell
Yeah,
podcast.
of course.
I think at this point I'm just going to have everybody from Unhallowed Void on, because it was Luke last time, you this time, up next. Who knows? Who knows? The world's funny. But anyway, yeah, you heard me. I'll have all of Luke's stuff in the description, his Instagram. You can find the link trees there for merch, music, Bandcamp, all that kind of thing. And yeah, that'll be that. Like and
Yeah.
subscribe, drink water, or I'll punch your dog.
Thanks a lot for having me on.
No, no problem. It's
Yeah.
been a good laugh, and I love that we can just sit and bullshit. I love that we
Yeah.
can do that
Just
about the
chat about it.
podcast. Anyway, I'll cut the recording here. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Be safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
See you later.